All right, Senator Sanders, Georgia is in play. Why do you think that is, and what do you think is going to happen on Tuesday with two highly contested Senate races?
Well, Georgia is obviously an enormously important state because it's a battleground state for president, and you have not one but two Senate seats. And if the Democrats are to gain control over the United States Senate, if we could win those two seats in Georgia, that would probably make it happen. I think the reason that Georgia is undergoing this kind of transformation is number one, there is growing dissatisfaction all across this country in a president who is a pathological liar, a president who is a racist and a sexist, and by the way, a president who does not believe in science. All right, we are dealing right now with this terrible, terrible pandemic. It is surging all over this country. And you got a president who continues to say, we are turning the corner. We're not turning the corner. And we're not going to get a handle on this pandemic unless we have a president in the White House who believes in science, who listens to scientists, and does not attack people like Dr. Fauci and call them an idiot. We need a plan, a national guideline that comes from Washington. We do not have that. So I think you're seeing in Georgia and frankly all across this country growing dissatisfaction with Trump and the understanding we need to take this country in a very different direction. Second of all, it's not just about Trump. I think people understand that we are living in a moment where the very, very rich are doing phenomenally well, while as a result of the pandemic, tens of millions of workers have lost their jobs. They want a government that is going to speak and work for them, raise the minimum wage to a living wage, expand healthcare to all, not throw 23 million people off the healthcare they have. So I think the answer to your question is dissatisfaction with Trump and the understanding that we need a president who speaks and fights for working families, not just the wealthy.
Recently, we saw one of Georgia's senators, David Perdue. He mispronounced Kamala Harris's name. He did say it was an honest mistake. When you saw that, what did you think about that rally in Macon?
Nothing surprises me about the right-wing Republicans. And I think, I've known Kamala for years. You could disagree with her, but, you don't have to make fun of her name because it's a little bit different than other people's names.
Senator Sanders, what do you want to tell those folks who supported you during the last election, this election, and sort of feel alienated with the Biden-Harris campaign? What is your message to them, given what we saw in 2016?
All right. Well, my message is it's twofold. I mean, I have very little doubt that the overwhelming majority of the people who have supported me, and I thank all of them for their support, are going to come out and vote for Biden. What I would say is you can't sit this one out. This country cannot tolerate 4 more years of a president who rejects science, not only in terms of the pandemic, but in terms of climate change as well. A president who is trying to divide us up based on the color of our skin or where we were born rather than bring us together. So what we have got to do is elect Joe and Kamala. And then what we have got to do is fight for our agenda. And with Joe in the White House, it is an opening for us to do that. If the American people reelect Trump, we're going to be on the defensive for 4 more years. We're not going to be able to develop the policies that working families desperately, desperately need right now.
What do you think about the Electoral College, given the popular vote won last time, and will you run again for president?
No, I'm not going to be running for president, and the Electoral College is really problematic. What we are seeing right now is an election which is coming down to maybe 10 states, and that's not fair. California is a state in America. Wyoming is a state. Just because one's Democrat, one's a Republican, does not mean that their needs should be ignored. And furthermore, we are a nation, not just a collection of states. So I have a real problem, not only with the Electoral College, I have a problem with campaign finance, where right now billionaires, in both sides, to be frank with you, are pouring huge amounts of money into the election. I have a problem with the election system itself, where state after state is working overtime to suppress the vote. So I am maybe old-fashioned and conservative. I believe in one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections, and a system where we make it easy for people to participate, not harder, which is what Republicans are trying to do right now.
And last question to you, Senator Sanders. How often do you talk to Biden and Kamala? And give us one positive thing about President Trump. You talked about things you don't like. What is one thing you do like?
Well, I will be talking to Kamala tonight. We're doing a virtual rally on the need to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, which is an important issue for workers all across this country. I don't, I have, it's hard for me to say anything positive about somebody who is a racist and a sexist and a xenophobe who is trying to divide us up. I just have a hard time saying anything positive about somebody. I'm working as hard as I can right now to defeat Donald Trump, and let me leave it at that.
And any closing comments or thoughts you have about people who haven't voted, and as we are approaching election day, which just days away at this point?
Yeah, look, Georgia is clearly, as everybody in Georgia knows, because of the closeness of the race there, and because you have 2 Senate seats, it is enormously important. And for us to do what we need to do now for working families, and by the way, the first order of business of a Democratic majority in the Senate will be to pass an emergency COVID-19 relief package to provide support for those people who have lost their jobs during the pandemic. And in order for us to do that, obviously, we need control over the Senate, and those 2 seats in Georgia that are up right now will play a very important role in determining whether or not we gain control.
Sorry, you got cut off. Sorry.
I think the dog there that was barking thinks you did a great job. There he is.
Yeah, that's my dog. Sorry.
That's your dog. All right.
I'm not sure about that one.
All right.
Well, thank you, Senator, for your time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you, Senator.